Blessings and greetings on this Sunday morning, the 14th of August. I'm Pastor Carrie here at Sunrise Church, getting ready for worship this morning. And in this morning brief, I like to just add a little bit of conversation to the sermon, things that I'm not going to really focus on from our scriptures, but just to give a little bit more background maybe for what we're going to hear in the worship service. So this morning, we continue in our sermon series for the summer about summer faith, summer fun, summer fellowship. So it's kind of been a church-wide Beyond Worship series this summer of just getting together and also considering how summertime activities or summer themes also translate or inform us about our faith. And so today we're going to be talking about light. And so in the sermon, we'll hear more about summer light and walking in light and being in the light. And so we're going to hear from the Gospel of John, 8th chapter, where Jesus said, "I am the light of the world. Those who follow me will not walk in darkness, but will have the light of life." And then there's a whole nother part of this passage that we're going to read that I'm actually not focusing on, because I'm really only focusing on that first verse, verse 12 in chapter 8. But what's happening is Jesus has been talking to mostly the Pharisees. There's quite a bit of a crowd around him, because it is he is speaking at the temple, or he's been at the temple. It's the festival of booths, or the festival of the tabernacles. It's one of the pilgrimage festivals, which means people from all over have traveled to Jerusalem, to the temple, to celebrate God's guidance, God's protection, God watching over the Israelites as they left Egypt on the Exodus. Excuse me. And so here Jesus talking, and the Pharisees this is part of a larger kind of 2 chapters worth of kind of conflict between Jesus and the Pharisees. So in the Gospel of John, the author John, he kind of puts everything, not everything, but most of the conflict with the Pharisees he puts into 2 chapters. And so this is just another example of Jesus kind of in conflict and debating, if you will, with the Pharisees. So after Jesus says, "I am the light of the world," the Pharisees like, "You know what? We weren't going to believe you, because you need 2 witnesses. We need 2 people to verify or to testify that this is what you're saying is true." What this points us to is, and this long debate between Jesus and the Pharisees about the testimony of Jesus, and what Jesus really is pointing out, obviously they're not believing him, but what he's really pointing out is that the legalistic manner in which they view all of life, they being the Pharisees, the rules of the law, how it blinds them, right? Like it creates this darkness in them, and they cannot get past it. And so Jesus tries to say, listen, it's not just me who's saying this. This is God in me saying this. And Jesus also says something like, I know that this is true. Like, I know who I am. I know where I come from. I know where I'm going. I know what God is doing in me. God is with me. And but the Pharisees cannot accept this, and so Jesus kind of just says, you know what, you if you knew me, you'd know my Father, and then you would know that what I say is true. And so I think today this just kind of maybe helps us to see that even in the midst of being very faithful and being faith-filled, that we can also have darkness, because we will fail to see beyond some of the legalistic rules that we have created, whether we've created those for ourselves in our faith life, whether those have been created for us by the institution of the church or from other teachings. Sorry, there's my phone. We get kind of caught up, right, in kind of this narrow view, or, we've always thought this way, we've always heard it this way, whatever, and then we might miss what Jesus is, because we proof, we need more testimony, something like that. And so I think when we hold that part of this conversation, this part of the passage with "I am the light of the world, and whoever follows me will not walk in darkness, but will have the light of life," and we try to let go of some of those rules that we put around what that looks like. What does it look like to follow Jesus? I mean, we let go of some of the rules of what light and life looks like, so that we can truly see and hear Jesus. And I think also like that trust, not in the rules, but that trust in ourselves. The way Jesus said, I know who I am. I know God in me. I know my Father. I know where I've come and where I'm going. Like to have that kind of confidence in who we are, to have that kind of confidence in knowing what God is doing in us. And while some people may not see it, may not believe it, to really rest in that. To me, that is walking with the light of life, light of life in us, is to have that confidence. So we're going to explore more about light in the sermon. We're really going to focus on this light of life that Jesus gives us, and how we receive that and how we know it. And then, of course, how we reflect that to others as well. And so I hope that this little bit of background was helpful for you, and that it will aid in your understanding of the scriptures and our message today. Again, we worship at 10 a.m. in person and online. So here on Facebook or on YouTube, you can find us, and or come in person. And I'll just tell you, in a few weeks, probably in about 4 weeks, we're going to be like shifting a little bit on our live streaming, and we'll be live streaming through our website. And I believe I will also be able to do this morning brief in that way, but it will also give us an opportunity to be a little more interactive. So if you have not gotten on our website lately, I invite you to do that. We also have an app, Sunrise Church Pueblo West. You can get it in the Apple Store or on Google Play. And download that app, subscribe, create that account and subscribe, and you'll get push notifications when I'm on, or when we're doing live stream or other things. And we'll be testing that out starting in September. So I'm looking forward to that. Just another learning curve, but be waiting for that. So I hope to see you in church. I hope that you have a wonderful day, that the rest of the day is the very best of your day, and we'll see you in church.